Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam Prabhuji.
Uh, Hare Krishna. So, so welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita session. We'll be discussing chapter 11 today. So this is 11th session, and we are planning to discuss 18 chapters in 18 sessions straight, so that we can complete the entire Bhagavad Gita in at one go. All of you are later encouraged to join regular Bhagavad Gita sessions because Bhagavad Gita is far more detailed topic. It can be studied for years and years together, and still, you'll continue to uh, learn new things out of same text, same verses. So request you all to be maintain your enthusiasm for these sitting sessions and also continue later. Moving on, the today's the title for today's topic is the universal form. Vishwarupa is what is how it is described in the Bhagavad Gita. The universal form or Vishwarupa Darshan, and we'll find out, why Arjuna had to request Krishna to demonstrate this, and how does it look like. Before that, I thought it will be a good opportunity for us to do a quick recap. Recap not only just a couple of previous chapters, but let's begin from where we started. We started our journey with by discussing about chapter one. After chapter one, where there is a interaction that is going on. Dhritarashtra opens. The first verse was spoken by Dhritarashtra. Later on, Duryodhan speaks for a while, and then Arjuna speaks predominantly in chapter 1. Arjuna is asking, giving various reasons and for not fighting this war. Arjuna is refusing to fight this war. He says, I don't want a kingdom at the cost of my relative's life. Which happens, which to so which seems to be a reasonable argument. It's not a it's winning war and winning some kingdom at a cost of your loved ones. It's not a great deal. So Arjuna is thinking like that, and he is arguing with Krishna, giving various reasons, saying, I'm experiencing great mental distress simply with a thought that now I will have to kill all the relatives who have assembled in the battlefield. Up till now, in the previous occasions, like Virat Raj, the Kaurava army attacked Virat Raj, and Arjuna fought a great war, single-handedly defeated in the entire Kuru army, but he never killed anyone. He simply defeated them. But so that was that. But here, this is going to be a decisive war. This was considered to be the biggest war of that time that had ever happened. After the Deva Asur war, this was considered to be the one of the biggest war. And Akshani Sainya was on the side of Kaurava, seven Akshani Sainya was on the side of Pandavas, and all this ocean of people who had assembled there. Arjuna knew that he's going to kill most of them, and so he's experiencing great mental distress. He's feeling compassion for all the people, all those who had assembled on the battlefield. He's feeling compassion. He said, what's the point of killing so many people for five of us to win some kingdom? He's thinking, how will I enjoy the kingdom when my loved ones will be dead? I'm winning this kingdom at the cost of their life. So is this really a great deal? Is this really a good bargain? How about sinful reactions? I'm supposed to protect my family members, not kill them. So if I kill them, will I not get sinful reactions? Destruction of dharma and family traditions, because all the men who had assembled on the battlefield for the particular fight as part of army on both sides, all the women and children are exposed, and there is a great possibility that they will be misused, they will be polluted, they will be exploited, and that from that, the unwanted progeny might arise, and they will stop. Such progeny will not be dharmic, so they will be engage in adharmic work, which will mean that the pindo, the kriya, which is offering water and food for the ancestors, departed souls, that can be stopped, and that can lead to chaos. And because of all this, Arjuna is saying, I'm not able to decide what is good for me, what is right for me. Should I fight or should I not fight? In that mood, Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. In this bewildered state of mind, by speaking this beautiful verse, Karpanya dosho pahatasva bhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma samudha cheta. What is my dharma? Please tell me, O Arjuna, O Krishna. Pruchhami tvam. I'm asking you, what is my duty? Now, what is my dharma? Dharma has multiple meanings. One meaning of dharma is, what is my duty? Dharma of sugar is to be sweet. So dharma of salt is to be salty. Similarly, what is my dharma? What am I supposed to do in this situation? So the confusion was, if I follow my kula dharma, अगर मैं कुल धर्म का पालन करता हूं तो मुझे कुल की रक्षा करनी है, मेरे फैमिली मेंबर्स की रक्षा करनी है. एंड इफ आई वर टू फॉलो क्षत्रिय धर्म, then those who are fighting against the righteous people, I should be fighting a war with them, and I should be defeating them. Not only defeat, kill them if need be, because I have the authority to kill them. The six types of aggressors, Prabhupada writes in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that they can be killed, and there's no sin in that. And Kauravas have done all those wrong things, which are which can be, which can warrant a death punishment, and Arjuna was authorized to do that. So as a kshatriya, he was supposed to fight a war. As a kula dharma, he was supposed to protect his family members. And in this bewildered state of mind, he was not able to decide which one I should pick, which one is higher than the low other one. So Krishna, Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. Now Krishna assumes immediately a role of a teacher or guru, and start his instructions by first chastising Arjuna for talking foolishly, and then introducing concept of soul in the discussion. Krishna says in series of verses in the second chapter that how soul is unborn. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. That does not get harmed. That does not get killed even when the body is destroyed. So what is that? That is the spiritual element inside our body. So that element is unborn. It has never taken birth, and there is no death for that soul also. It is eternal. It is always existent, Shashwat. It is very old, and it is immeasurable. It is indestructible. Now, soul changes body as we change garment. And this is the fundamental spiritual knowledge. The Adhyatmak discussion start with the knowledge of Atma, which is our true identity. We are all souls having currently a particular type of body in a particular locality, in a particular family, in a particular state, country, speaking a particular language, having a particular material form, be it of a, if a female form or a male form. But fundamentally we are spiritual. We neither male nor we are females. We are not eternally males, and neither we are eternally females. So we've had our past karma which has led us to a female body or a male body, as the case might be. And in our next birth we can change our body, we can switch our body from male to female. That's also possible. So our this is the fundamental spiritual knowledge, and the knowledge of soul was introduced. And Arjuna, he says that you are worried about killing these people, but but know that these people can't be killed, because the real identification of these people is not their external body, but the internal spirit soul, and that spirit soul cannot be killed. Having understood this, this is great knowledge, but it is not sufficient knowledge, because as long as soul is inside a particular body, that body has a duration. be it 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, 30 years, whatever it is. And during that duration, for that duration, the body has to be maintained, just like a car has to be maintained. When the moment drivers sit in the car and start driving it, he just can't endlessly drive. He has to refuel it, he has to maintain it, he has to repair it. Similarly, body needs maintenance, body needs subsistence, and for that we have to perform actions other than just driving. Maintenance is a separate activity. Fueling is a separate activity. Filling petrol is a different activity than just driving. We have to stop. We clean the car. We have to clean it. And for that, we can't drive and clean simultaneously. We have to stop driving and start cleaning. So, so those activities, various type of activities that we need to perform. And those activities, some are voluntary, some are not voluntary, like breathing, like digestion, blood circulation. We don't take a decision that I will now, try and digest my food. It's just happening. So some those are involuntary actions. Then voluntary actions are uh, performed or are take undertaken to fulfill our desires, our dreams, our goals. And so these actions, to fulfill our desires that we perform, happens under the influence of one of the modes of material nature. Is a big topic, and we'll be exploring that beautiful topic from chapter 14 onwards continuously till the 18th chapter. We'll talk a lot about modes of material nature and how we function under the influence of these modes and what happens to us because of that. So very beautiful chapter. Over 100 verses are dedicated to the three modes of material nature in the entire Bhagavad Gita. Out of 700, 100 plus verses are dedicated for the modes of material nature. That is how important this concept is, and we'll understand it in greater detail later. So, uh, so this fulfill our desires, we have to act. And whenever we act for fulfilling our desire, we either act under influence of sattva guna, rajoguna, or tamoguna, or any combination of these three gunas. What is the problem? Problem is when we act for our pleasure, our actions produce a fruit, karma phala, and that karma phala for enjoying or suffering with that karma phala, we are forced to take another body. So this karma phala becomes a bondage. Krishna is asking Arjuna in the 3.30th verse that work in such a way that work whatever do we want to do, but at least surrender fruits of work upon Krishna so that you can become free from bondage. Thus, in 3.9, Krishna says that yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Karma becomes bondage unless it is performed for the satisfaction of Vishnu or Krishna. So we should to do how to do that activity. That was explained by way of cycle of sacrifice. That if you're able to sacrifice, offer everything that you have, what you do to Krishna, that is perfect. If not to Krishna, at least offer it to demigod. So the net advice given to Arjuna is that you cannot renounce the work, cannot think that if work cause me bondage, I will stop my work. You cannot stop your work because even for the simple purpose of maintenance of your physical body, for the duration, you are forced to work. So you must work, you must act. Now you should also act to set right example, because we don't want society to become irresponsible, filled with irresponsible people who are who are under the name of renunciation are shying away from their responsibilities. I as a family holder has a responsibility to maintain and take care of my family. I need to provide them with basic facilities of life. I have to give them food, shelter, clothing, and then I can provide them for their spiritual needs, higher needs as well. But the fundamental needs I have to provide them. So I can't be irresponsible under the name of renunciation. Krishna further goes on to explain how lust is an eternal enemy of a devotee. who can destroy our bhakti. So lust is not just attraction between male and female. Lust can also be lust for honor, lust for respect, lust for recognition, and lust for so these are also subtle forms of lust. And when we are ignored in a group of people, when we are our contribution is not recognized in a group of people, we feel offended, we feel insulted, and that insult sometimes hurt us more than a wound caused by a knife. And it just, that wound will get healed soon. But insults can, people carry insults for lifetime, and they don't talk with people, they maintain enmity with other people. अपमान को भुलाना बहुत मुश्किल है. So lust can also be a subtle form, is in can be in subtle form. And these are all also examples of lust, and we can be infected with any kind of lust. Lust for money, lust for sense gratification. So any kind of lust, any kind of excessive attachment is lust, and that can lead us to destruction. Our bhakti can be definitely destroyed by such lust. So Krishna is asking Arjuna to fight this inner battle for controlling anarthas. That is very important for a king, king-like person like Arjuna, who is a leader in a society. The whole society looks up to a king, and as a king functions, yad yad acharati sreshta, tat tat as similarly the other common people will follow. So there's a additional responsibility for Arjuna to do the right thing, and hence Krishna is persuading, pushing Arjuna to on the right path. Krishna, in the beginning of fourth chapter, reveals his extraordinary position by giving more details about himself. He starts this chapter by saying that I spoke this knowledge to Sun God. Arjuna is saying, Sun God, you and me are of same age, and Sun God is Prachin. How am I to understand that you spoke this knowledge to Sun God? And then Krishna says that Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Oh, sorry. Bahuni me Vyatitani. So that you and I have had many, many births. I can remember all of those. You cannot, because you are appearing in a material body. I am appearing in my spiritual body, same two-arm form. As I live in Golok Vrindavan, as I am there in Golok Vrindavan, I'm coming in this material world with my same body. Therefore, I don't change body. Therefore, I can remember all of our past activities, and therefore I am I existed even when sun god never existed. I have created sun. So I am Prachin to sun as well as the other devtas and the Maharshis. So one who knows the transcendental divya nature of appearance, of birth and activities of Krishna, Janma, Karma, Chame, Divyam, Evam Yovetti Tatvataha, that if you understand this in a tattva, then you will develop an attraction for me. And once you get attracted to me, you will become my devotee. You will perform devotional service wholeheartedly. By seeing you sincerely performing devotional service wholeheartedly, I will give you additional intelligence by which your attraction towards me will increase. And like that, you will remember me always throughout the life. You will remember me at the end of life, and you will come to me. That is why once you know once you know in tattva the the divya nature of appearance and activities of Krishna, you will not take birth again. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti, so Arjuna. So how does that happen? But is it that simple? Krishna says, I am the property of my devotees. I am owned by my devotees. My devotee only can give me to somebody else. You cannot obtain me on your own. You cannot get me by your own efforts. So you need mercy from a devotee who possesses Krishna. If you want 100 rupees note, you need to find a person who has 100 rupees and be and beg for his mercy so that he can hand over that 100 rupees note to you. Otherwise, there is no chance you can manufacture your own 100 rupee note, and nobody will accept it because it will be bogus. So we need a spiritual master. We need devotees in our life. So how should we approach devotees? Tadvidi pranipatena. Pranipatena means by paying obeisances. Whenever we see a spiritual master, a guru, a devotee, we should pay obeisances. We should bow down to them. And pariprashnena sevaya, submissively asking them questions in a surrendered mood, in a submissive mood, because they can guide you because they have seen the truth. They know the truth. They they've been they have received special mercy from Krishna. Because of that, they have understood Krishna in Tattva, and they only can give Krishna to us. Fifth chapter, contact of sense on sense object is unavoidable. Explain us that. Say contact and sense object and senses is going to be unavoidable as long as we remain in this material world. Just like Mayam etam tarantite. Tarantite is a swim over, means swimming. Swimming means your body, part of your body will always remain in water. Similarly, as long as we exist in the material world, the senses and the sense object will come in contact. That is just unavoidable. The tongue will taste food, and the moment you may be, you may not be interested in tasting good food, great quality food, but the moment you put any food on your tongue, it will function. It will give you a sensation of good, bad, or ugly, whatever it is. So that is unavoidable. But so we can't stop eating. We can't stop breathing. So if there is a fragrance around us, we are forced to take that fragrance. We are forced to experience that fragrance. So the contact of the senses and sense object is unavoidable. So how should we do? Where should we go? Where should we run away? We should not run away from anywhere. We keep performing our actions in our current body with a spirit of detachment. We may as long as we remain detached, it's as long as we are remaining detached, our work performed, or the interaction between sense and sense object will not become binding for us. So that is the secret that Krishna is revealing in the fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where he says that the at times the work itself is not a problem. The attachment for enjoyment is a problem. The mentality to enjoy is a problem. As long as you can function with the spirit of detachment, it is, and we should perform work in that spirit. It is fine. As long as we work with a spirit of detachment, it is fine. So we need not renounce the work. We need to renounce the mentality to enjoy uh, the result of that work. And that renounce mode, we should continue to work. uh, Krishna says, gives example of Padma Patram Ivambasi, that just like a lotus leaf is there, water cannot make it wet. Even if it is there in a mud, it will continue to remain clean. And similarly, Krishna says that we should maintain the spirit of detachment while performing all kind of duties. Pandita Samadarshina, he explained in the 18th verse of 5th chapter, that develop equal vision towards all entities. The for developing this vision, sense enjoyment must be regulated because they are impregnated with misery. Dukha yonaya evate. यही संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुख योनय एवते. Any desire to enjoy a sense object is impregnated, is pregnant, this is already impregnated with misery. It's only a question of when we will experience misery. It's not if the question is of when. The timing is the issue. As long as we have a desire to enjoy our sense objects, we are bound to get a misery. Why? Because we, whatever sense gratification, sense object that we had imagined will be a great, will give us great joy, great experience, may turn out to be bogus. We may not get it at all, or not that all we desire we get. whatever we desire, we don't get all of that. Also, we may get it, it may not be as tasteful as we had imagined it to be. you know Sometimes, we get something, but we had fantasized it a lot. Our fantasies, our imagination um, has given us a picture which is too big, too rosy, too good. But when we actually see it, um, it becomes it's a uh, it doesn't it is not as good as we had thought. So so it becomes a disappointment kind of experience. And later, and even if we get it and it is meeting our expectation, it doesn't last long. Either we get over or the sense object get over. Either way, at the end we experience misery. So Krishna is saying that with the help of mind, control your mind and make it your friend. Because doing all this, developing detachment from the sense object and performing, doing sense control, the mind play a big role in all of this, in preventing pratyahara, preventing. Controlling your senses of and developing a spirit of detachment. It's a question of mind, it's not so much a physical activity. And for that you need to conquer this inner enemy. Mind, uncontrolled mind is your greatest enemy, and controlled mind can be your best friend. So conquer the mind. And how? Krishna elaborately explains in the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita that strict practice of dhyana or Ashtanga yoga develop equal vision towards everyone, living entities, emotions, and things. Arjuna says it's impossible to do. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramathi balavadridham. He says, my mana is a chanchala. It's like a monkey, it's here right now and there immediately in the next moment. I can't control my mind. Um, it's very dridham, it's very strong, very obstinate. It's just not listening to whatever I'm telling. I have to understand that I'm different than from my mind. I have a mind, I am not mind. And hence I should be able to instruct to my mind, I should be able to control my mind. But Arjuna says it's very difficult, and Krishna says it's possible by practice and detachment. Now Arjuna raises a question that what if one becomes unsuccessful in practicing bhakti? What will be the condition? What will be the outcome of such failure, if one may consider it to be? Krishna says there is no failure on the path of bhakti yoga, because whatever bhakti you perform is never lost. You start in your next life from where you left off. And if you have performed bhakti, you're assured to get birth amongst devotee family or a well-worth family, which is wealthy family, so that without much of difficulty you can continue from where you left off in your previous life. Now this is completely against the facility that is available to us. All of you would have some educational degrees, and they become zero when you leave this body. In the next body you have to start from playgroup again. So no matter how much wealth you have collected in this life, no matter how much property you own in this life, it could be your hard earned money, but it becomes zero. It becomes zero with the body. End of this body, that will become zero. It will be all snatched away from you, much against your own desire. So, all your property, all your bank balance, all your wealth, all your relatives, all your friend circle, all your everything will be left behind. All your material education, what will go with you is, if you have developed taste for japa, nam japa, hare nam sankirtan, if you have developed taste for chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that taste will go with you to the next body. So that you can, in the next body, right from the early age, you will get exposed to devotional service, and you will pick up uh, from where you left off in the previous life. Your library of books like will not go with you, but what will go with you are the realizations that what you have heard, what you have read, and if you have contemplated enough on that, meditated enough on what you have heard, what you have read, and the conclusions that you have drawn, those conclusions, those realizations will go with you to the next body, so that right from early age you will get an opportunity to continue from where you left off. So hence Krishna says bhakti yoga is the best of all yogas, be it karma yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, and bhakti yoga. Krishna says amongst all these people, bhakti yogi is the best. Bhakti Yogi begins, the call for the seventh chapter begins with a call for hearing. Hear with attention, O Arjuna. Krishna says, Maya asakta mana partha, yogam yunjam madashrayaha. He's saying that please listen, tat shrunu. That's the call for hearing. Shrunu, hear. Hearing is the process, is the beginning. And by hearing, you get knowledge. By knowledge, you get um, your doubts get cleared, and then you are able to take shelter of Krishna, lotus feet of Lord Krishna, with conviction, and perform devotional service without any doubt in a wholehearted way. When you perform Nam Sankirtan, when you do read Bhagavad Gita in a wholehearted way, then you develop attraction and attachment for Krishna. Then you cannot forget Krishna, and then you want to know more about Krishna. By, as I said, hundreds of times people have read Bhagavad Gita, the same text, same Sanskrit text, and they get new realizations every time. So that is beauty of this book. The books are alive books. These books are live books. They are not just pages. As you, if you will invest yourself in this reading these books, the book will become alive to you, and it will talk to you. It will solve your problems. It will give you suggestions. The Bhagavad Gita are the words of Krishna, and they are non different than Krishna. So that is the beauty of bhakti yoga. Krishna says that how do you Krishna is going to speak about himself predominantly in this particular section, section 7 to section 12. So he began starts by giving, telling elaborately how Krishna manifests per present everywhere. How Krishna is, you can perceive Krishna's presence everywhere. You know, a lot of people think that where is God? You know, why God is not visible to me? Why he can't come and stand in front of me? They foolishly argue. Krishna says, the light in sun and moon is me. So all of you are in India right now, are seeing the sunshine. October heat is, you can experience October heat, hot weather in and around Mumbai, and that light is in the sun and moon is Krishna says, I am that. All of you would have drank water after waking up in the morning. Krishna says that first get quest by water. That 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 rasoham apsi kaunteya. That rasa which quest your thirst is me. जो प्यास बुझाने वाला रस है पानी के अंदर, कृष्ण says I am that. I am ability in man. I am able to speak. You are able to hear. You have hearing ability. You don't have disability. You have a ability to hear. I have ability to speak. Therefore, I am able to speak. You are able to hear. Krishna says that ability in you is me, comes from me. So if that ability is withdrawn, I will not be able to speak. You will not be able to hear. As long as Krishna has given us the permission to, that ability is retained, we are able to carry out these activities. In our office in BKC, we have a disability center where people from all age group come there. All of them are those where the ability is withdrawn by Krishna, ability to walk, ability to talk, ability to hear, and ability to see. So those abilities, have we don't have those because of our own effort. Because Krishna has allowed, permitted, those abilities are there in me and you and all of us. But when the permission is withdrawn, ability is gone. Prowess of the powerful people, strong strength of the strong people, your and so on and so forth. So everything is Krishna, intelligence of the intelligent people. Very important. Maya, we spoke about Maya, Mayam etam tarantite, that we have to surrender to Krishna. Krishna is suggesting, if you surrender to me, Maya will not trouble you. Maya works under my supervision. So, the four type of people, Mudha, Prapadyante, Naradhama. Mudhas don't surrender to Krishna. They don't come to Krishna. uh, Naradhamas also don't come to Krishna. Jinka dhyan maya aparata jnanam and asuri bhava ashrita. These four type of people don't come to Krishna, but another four type of people will come searching for Krishna. Arto, जिनका जो दुखी है, जिज्ञासु जिनमें जिज्ञासा है, अर्थार्थी जिन्हें कुछ चाहिए, भक्ति करने के बदले कुछ चाहिए, और ज्ञानी जो जानते हैं कि वासुदेवम सर्वमिति, तो वासुदेव के अलावा, कृष्ण के अलावा हमारे पास कोई और शरणागति है नहीं, जो ये जानते हैं। सो ऐसे चार प्रकार के लोग कृष्ण कहते हैं कि मेरे पास आते हैं। कृष्ण इज नॉट इवन टॉकिंग अबाउट एथिस्ट, He's he's talking about atheists in the previous verse. Mudhas. The mudhas are the idiots. Those believe that the world has been created and functioning on its own. So Prabhupada has written an elaborate purport for the 15th verse in the 7th chapter, where Prabhupada has detail explain how these four type of people are, and how we can help them come to Krishna, how we can convince them to accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead and perform bhakti, so that they can come to the 16th verse categories, one of the categories. Eighth chapter begins by attaining the Supreme. How I can attain Krishna? If I have to end my cycle of repeated birth, I have to. I'm chakra. Chakra means cyclical. Cycle. I become small. I become young. I become. I become old. I die, and I become small again. Now this is a cyclical. It's in the cyclical nature. How can I break this cycle? How can I get out of this cycle, so that I don't have to go to another mother's womb? I don't have to again become young. I don't have to become old again, and I don't have to suffer with different diseases, and don't have to die again. Can there be a way out of this cycle of repeated birth and repeated death? I don't know. I'm in a comfortable condition today, but tomorrow I may be born in a very horrible condition. Um, so why risk? Why take that risk? And what is the purpose? I will work hard to accumulate all my material degrees, bank balance, property. I will decorate my home beautiful way, and at death I will be thrown out of all that. It will all be snatched away from me, and I don't know where we will go, where I will go, what will happen to me, and I will then get pushed into the womb of another mother and another father, and I will continue my journey like this. And again, I will work for another 60, 70, 80 years, work hard, accumulate wealth, again throw it all up. It will be snatched away from me, and again I will. What is the purpose? What is the end of this journey? Why am I doing it? So Krishna says you should not do it. There's no need for you to do it. You want to do it, you are doing it because you want to do it, because you are unable to perform bhakti, you are unable to cultivate remembrance of me, you are unable to come to me, don't even have a desire to come to me. So that is your pathetic condition, because of which you are locked in this cycle. But there is a way out. If you can remember Krishna at the end of your life, Vanta Kale cha mam eva, if you can remember Krishna at the time of quitting your body, giving up your body, that is what you are supposed to do. This is the instruction given by Krishna. But not everyone is able to do this. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyachantyante kalevaram. Not everyone is, because if you have not remembered Krishna throughout your life, it is impossible for you to remember Krishna accidentally at the end of your life. And if that doesn't happen, you will come back in the material world. You will get another body. You will become Hindu now, Muslim later, Christian in some other birth, and Jew and some other caste and some other, uh, culture in another birth, and it is painful every time. It will become painful more as the time will progress in the Kali Yuga. It will become more painful. So Krishna says it's not worth it. It is not worth it. So just quit your body, remembering me. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmaritacha. It is possible to quit remembering me at the moment of your death is possible if you have done that throughout your life. So perform your duties remembering me alone, so that you can actually come to me. Practical application is important. This is knowledge that if I remember Krishna at the moment of death, I will go back to Krishna, but having a desire to go to Krishna, and then putting in practically doing things which will help me remember Krishna throughout my good, bad, ugly times, so that at the end of my life also I will be able to remember Krishna. Now that requires some practical functioning, practical work. It will require you to wake up in the early in the morning and join japa sessions. It will require for all of us to dedicate some time for serious reading of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. It will require all of us to dedicate some time for talking to devotees, taking guidance from them, asking them questions about our life, making some bold decisions, that bringing some changes in our life, so that we can accommodate Krishna more and more inside our life, inside our daily routine, and we can thereby cultivate his remembrance. The most confidential knowledge is that Krishna takes personal interest in his devotees' life. The intimate relationship is the essential understanding presented in the Bhagavad Gita. Understanding that understanding this, one is attracted to the path of bhakti, become devotee of Krishna, manmana, and then he is able to manmana, engage mind in Krishna. Bhava mad bhakto, become his devotee. Madhyaji, perform devotional service, archanam to Krishna, perform his puja and pay obeisances to Krishna. Then go to Krishna. Then Krishna is the last chapter. We said how Krishna is the origin of everything. Everything, whatever we attractive, whatever good looking, whatever uh, good or a vishesha that we see in this world is coming from Krishna. And if anyone know this with conviction, any that aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. This Buddha, those wise people will surrender to me with whole in a wholehearted way. So what they know, what they should know, that everything is coming, emanating from me. Everything, I am the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. That everything, I am the source of all spiritual and material world, and everything emanates from me. And if you know this, you will become attracted to me. You will become my devotee. So there is a knowledge, and then there is a action. The first line contains the knowledge part of it, and the second line contained action basis that knowledge. So this is how devotees will perform. Machitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam, that kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. They will be delightful. They will be happy um sharing Krishna's knowledge about Krishna with each other. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tan yena mam upayanti te. Seeing their bhakti, seeing their sadhana, serious, sincere endeavor, and seeing their service attitude, Krishna says, I will personally give them buddhi, additional intelligence, so that using which they can come to me. The last line, by which they can come to me. So we become eligible to receive special mercy from Krishna when we perform our sadhana, daily routine of chanting and reading of Bhagavad Gita and talking to devotees, asking them questions. This is part of our sadhana, and doing some seva service. These four things: Shravanam, Kirtanam, associating, talking to devotees, asking them question, and doing some kind of a seva, engaging in some service, be it giving money, hard-earned money to Krishna consciousness, to the propagation of Krishna consciousness, or be it performing actual service, doing some calling, doing some encouraging others to come to Krishna consciousness, encouraging people to come to our japa sessions, and so on and so forth. So doing some sadhana, sincere committed sadhana, and doing some sincere committed seva, krishna attracts Krishna gets attracted when we do these two things, and we become eligible to receive his mercy. By his mercy, we can understand Krishna in tattva, and with that mood we can remember Krishna throughout our life, although also at the end of our life. Arjuna confirms his understanding that Param Brahma Param Dhama, you are Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, you are Supreme Personality of Godhead. Without doubt, Arjuna accept all this. Then Krishna elaborately explains 82 opulences, vibhutis. Means Vishesh, Bhuti means whatever is special in the people, in the living entity. Krishna says, I am that. Everything, all of that comes from me. And this brings us to the 11th chapter that we will discuss now. 11th chapter, that acronym we'll use is Rupa. Rupa, R-U-P-A. The beginning of 11th chapter is a request from Arjuna. Request. So Bhagavad Gita practically has been concluded. The teaching, Arjuna has accepted Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead in the 10th chapter when he says, you are Parabrahma Param Dhamam. But he is still not picked up his bow and arrow. He's still not ready to fight because some more clarifications are still required. Krishna has spoken that he is supreme personality of Godhead, but it is still to happen through words. There's no practical demonstration of that has yet happened. So Arjuna is going to wait for that before he picked up his bow and arrow and begin fighting. So he requests Krishna, and we'll see what that request is, to show universal form. And the description of that universal form comes from chapter verse 5 to 14. Prayers of Arjuna are there from 15 to 45, and arm form, two arm form is demonstrated in the 46 to 55 request. After ekanshena sthita jagat, twice in Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, 41 and 42, Krishna has been speaking that ये सब मैंने जो बताया है, ये सब, I'm not telling that this is how great I am, and it is exhausting all my energies. Krishna says नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. एकम अंशेन स्थितो जगत, मतलब एक छोटे से फ्रैगमेंट ऑफ माय एनर्जी से ये सब हो रहा है. हम बोलेंगे अपना घर चल रहा है, हम लोग अपने, वी टेक केयर ऑफ अवर होम, वी गो टू वर्क, वी मेंटेन अवर फैमिली, एंड पूरा एग्जॉस्ट हो जाता है. एंड ऑफ द डे वी गेट एग्जॉस्टेड. एंड ऑफ आवर लाइफ, व्हेन वी आर अबाउट टू गेट रिटायर्ड, वी फील, व्हेन वी लुक बैक, आई फील क्या किया हमने. फ्रॉम द एज ऑफ 21 22 वी स्टार्ट वर्किंग, एंड कभी कभी माँ बाप के लिए, भाई बहन के लिए पैसा कमाया, उनको लाके दिया, एंड देन आई हैड अ वाइफ, आई हैड चिल्ड्रन. फिर वाइफ के रिलेटिव्स, मेरे रिलेटिव्स, चिल्ड्रन, उनके फ्रेंड्स, उनके बर्थडे, ये किया वो किया, गाड़ी लिया, बंगला लिया, फ्लैट लिया, मिक्सर लिया, वॉशिंग मशीन लिया, टीवी लिया, फिर टीवी चेंज किया, देन ब्यूटी पार्लर पे खर्चा किया, मेरे अपने ब्यूटी पार्लर पे खर्चा किया, बाल गए, बाल जो है वो काले कर दिए, जो नहीं है तो विग लगा दिया, और क्या क्या किया मैंने ये. एंड एट द एंड ऑफ ऑल दिस, आई एम completely tired. You all feel, all of us will feel extremely tired, and then we'll see कि क्यों किया, and then we'll not really know the answer of that. So all our energies get exhausted in living one small life, and maybe taking care of two, three people in our life. All of our energies get exhausted. But Krishna is maintaining, creating, maintaining, and destroying these universes. the whole universe, the whole solar system that you can think of, the whole Milky Way that you can perceive, that scientists can perceive, which contains millions of planets. And this is just one Brahmanda. There are innumerable Brahmandas coming out of Krishna's body, and all of those are maintained, created, maintained, and destroyed by that same Krishna. That same Krishna who was getting scared seeing a stick in the hand of his mother, the same Krishna has been creating all this and maintaining all this. And he says it does not exhaust him. It is not very उसमें कोई थकान नहीं होती है उसको. ऐसा नहीं कि ये करके बहुत थक जाते हैं कृष्णा. इससे Krishna says that mama tejo अंश संभव और एक अंशेन स्थितो जगत. It's by a very small fragment of my energy all this is happening. So I'm not at all exhausted by creating and maintaining these millions and billions of universes. So now Arjuna may think that he pervades and supports the entire universe. Arjuna is saying that this is spoken and I am accepting it. And this first verse of 11th chapter, Arjuna actually accept whatever Krishna has says and has give him a confirmation to that effect. When he says that mada anugrahaya paramam guhyam adhyatmak sangitam yatva yoktam yatvam यत्वम उक्तम वचस्तेन मोहयम विगतो मम. मोह चला गया है मेरा. मोह नष्टो मोहात् स्मृतिर्लब्ध्वा. ये सिमिलर वर्स आती है इन 18 चैप्टर 72nd वर्स, वेयर अर्जुन सेज दैट नष्टो मोह, मेरा मोह नष्ट हो गया है. एंड स्मृतिर्लब्ध्वा, दैट आई हैव रिगेन माय ओरिजिनल कॉन्शियसनेस, दैट आई एम योर सर्वेंट एंड आई एम योर डिवोटी. त्वत् प्रसादन मया अच्युतः. यहाँ पे है मद अनुग्रहाय परमम. दैट आपके कृपा के कारण, त्वत् प्रसाद, सिमिलर मीनिंग, दैट बिकॉज ऑफ योर मर्सी, बिकॉज ऑफ योर कृपा, ये आप मुझे शक्य हुआ है, ये मुझे पॉसिबल हुआ है. एंड ये गुह्यम अध्यात्म संगीतम, मुझे आई हैव बीन एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस अध्यात्म इज स्पिरिचुअल इंस्ट्रक्शंस, that because of which that moha se nashta hua hai, dispel my illusion. Arjuna said, translation, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. But then what is the need for asking Krishna to demonstrate the universal form? Let's see. Arjuna says further that, O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Drashtumichhami te rupamaishwaryam purushottamam. O Purushottama, I want to see your universal form. Manyasye yadi tachakya, tachashakya. If you think that I am able to shakya, if it is shakya for me, that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal form. Now he's saying Yogeshwaraya. Yogeshwara is mystic and the best amongst all the mystic. So पश्य में योगम ऐश्वर्यम, कृष्णा ने भी बोला था, 7वें चैप्टर में भी बोला था. एंड सिमिलरली ही सेइंग you are the best among all the yogis who can show mystic, who has some mystic powers. And if you think, if I can and I should see, then please be merciful to show me. So this is a very beautiful mood in which a request is made. It's not ordering to Krishna, but Prabhupada writes that the Lord said that because he entered into the material universe by his personal representation, The cosmic manifestation has been made possible and is going on. Krishna, as a Krishna expand as Balram, then comes Chaturvyuha, then second Chaturvyuha, and then come Narayana, and then comes the Kshirodakshai Vishnu in a lying in a Karnodakshai Vishnu lying in a Karna ocean, or Mahavishnu. From the Mahavishnu, when he breathes out, millions of universes comes from the pores of his body. जो शरीर में जो छेद होते हैं उनमें से एक एक millions of universes comes out as a bubble. जैसे बबल अंडाकृति बबल जैसे universe comes out. Then the same Karunodakshay Vishnu enters into each of those bubbles and manifests himself as Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And then from the Garbhodakshay Vishnu, navel of that Vishnu, a lotus gets sprouted, and on the top of that lotus, Brahmaji appears. That Brahmaji starts creation, start creating things, and that's how all the living entities eventually gets created. All the forms get created, and Krishna then appear inside each of those forms as Shirodakshay Vishnu. And when the soul and super soul comes together, that body become functional, because so super soul has to witness all the activities done by the soul. कितने लोग सुबह उठने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं फॉर जपा, कितने लोग स्नूज बटन दबा के वापस सो जाते हैं. Krishna is in our heart and he's seeing all this, and he's taking note of all this, and wherever he see a sincere endeavor from somebody to become Krishna conscious, he is happy to help that devotee. So now Prabhupada writes that now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he is inspired by the statement of Krishna. But in order to convince others in the future who may think that Krishna is an ordinary person, Arjuna desires to see him actually in this universal form, to see how he is acting from within the universe and although he is apart from it. So Krishna is everything, the whole universe was inside the body of Mahavishnu. So in that way, the whole universe is inside Krishna, and Krishna enters into every universe as Garbhodakshay Vishnu and enters into every atom as Kshirodakshay Vishnu. So thereby, Krishna is inside everything. So everything is inside Krishna, and Krishna is inside everything. Now this is inconceivable statement. If you are everything is inside you, how can you be inside everything? Krishna is both simultaneously. And that is what is mystical about Krishna. This is his Aishwarya, this is his opulence, that he can do all this as well. And this is not enough. Krishna is in his spiritual abode as well. So all three places simultaneously. Now that is great. That is the greatness of Krishna. Prabhupada writes further that, but the Lord can understand also that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjuna did not have any personal desire for confirmation. Krishna also understands that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to set a criteria for in the future there would be so many imposters who would pose themselves as incarnation of God. Anybody who claims to be himself to be an incarnation of God or God himself should be able to demonstrate universal form as was done by Krishna. So what Krishna is doing by showing that universal form to Arjuna is setting a criteria. In this world, today's time, there will be many godmen who will pop up every now and then. Anyone who know little bit of mystic act can claim himself to be a god man or a god himself, that I am God, pay obeisances to me, give all your facilities to me, and he can demand, he can become like that. So anyone who claim himself to be a god should be able to demonstrate universal form. He just shouldn't say by words that I am God, just respect me, become my devotee, as it was probably done by Krishna as well up till now. But 11th chapter does something more, where Krishna is actually demonstrating he is God by showing a universal form. So people, whoever claims to be a god, should also demonstrate that universal form, or else keep quiet, keep just should shut up and become devotees of Krishna. The people therefore should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to confirm his claim to the people. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna order. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. Rupa, a quick question. The Krishna is going to give vision to Arjuna, and Sanjay has also got a similar vision from Vyasdev, because of which he is able to see. So from now, Krishna is going to tell Arjuna what to expect. What to expect when he is something that Krishna says that no one else has ever seen this. So I must tell you in advance what am I going to show you so that you can relate, make sense out of it. Then Sanjay is hearing this conversation and he describes that Vishwarupa, Virat Rupa. And then Arjuna himself describes. So first Krishna tells him what he is going to show. Then Sanjay describes. There's a description coming from Sanjay that comes, and then Arjuna himself describes the Vishwarupa. So a quick question for all of you. I'm an accountant. Okay, I see an X-ray, a chest X-ray. Take it to my family doctor, who is a doctor, but MBBS doctor, basic doctor. He sees that X-ray, and a chest specialist sees that X-ray. The same X-ray I'm showing seen by three different people. Will the observation by these three people be different or the same? If it is same, why it is same? If it is different, why it is different? Hope the question is simple. It's a simple
Can
question.
I answer? Can I try to answer, Prabhu?
Yes, Madhavi.
Yeah, it can be similar if they are studying in the same school or college, or maybe they have the same experience, but almost
No,
everybody has
the
a different experience
everyone.
and
No. The
different
one is
perception.
accountant, one is a basic ordinary family doctor, and
Then
one
it will
is
be
the
completely
expert.
different. Then it will be completely different because they have their different expertise and different knowledge in different areas. They are not having that particular knowledge which is required for that particular thing, exactly the same the other expert might have.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other thought?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I also think the same. Like accountant has studied about the accounts and the basic like family doctor. He knows basic about everything. Like when we are sick, we go to the family doctor, right? But he cannot diagnose the main thing. The person who have studied about the that only one particular thing, he will have a proper understanding of that thing only, so he'll explain that in a different way and with more clarity.
So, what will be the gradation? Uh, the person who is accountant have probably uh, he's who will have the best knowledge, or whose explanation will be the can be considered to be the highest or the best explanation.
The one
The
who is
chess.
already expert in that subject.
One
Hmm.
is expert in that subject. Okay, so basically, both all three of them have two eyes, two sets of eyes. None of them have extra eye. So not that they're seeing with three eyes, four eyes. So when we see, we do we just see by our eyes, or we see with our knowledge also?
We see with our knowledge, perception, experience.
Knowledge, perception, experience. So there is more to than what we see. It's just not by seeing by eyes, but just by seeing through the eyes of knowledge, jnana chakshu, correct? So similar thing happened when Sanjay describes the Vishwarupa, And when Arjuna is describing the Vishwarupa, and when Krishna in the beginning explains what to expect in that Vishwarupa. Yeah, thanks, Mataji. Yeah, so let's move on further to actually see what is going to come up as part of this Vishwarupa. Text 5, Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, O son of Pratap, see now my opulence, hundreds of thousands of varied, divine, and multicolored forms. O best of Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard before. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. So it is said that the we have these 14 planetary systems, and so there is a length and there is a breadth, and everything was visible to Arjuna at same time. You know, whatever each and every nook and corner of those 14 planetary systems from Brahmaloka to Patal Loka, and through the full width, to the full width, every nook and corner, whatever was happening, everything was visible to Arjuna. So that is the nature in that it was all visible in Krishna's body when Krishna manifested that. So that was so bewildering. And Krishna is himself saying that uh, that that hundreds and thousands of varied divine and multicolored forms. So that's how the if you see the picture that it's there are forms everywhere. Sahastra Bahu, many heads, many arms, and many it's like many personalities are also visible inside the body of Lord Krishna. Verse 8, Krishna says that, but you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. Prabhupada writes in the purport that a pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. Devotees who are correctly situated in transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by godless display of opulence. The playmates of Krishna, the friends of Krishna, the parents of Krishna never wants Krishna to show his opulence. So what is the mood here? The mood is that all these people are intimately connected with Krishna, and that happens, that becomes possible only when you forget about Krishna's opulence. So there's a beautiful there's a in the Srimad Bhagavatam there is a chapter 29th, in the 10th canto, where it begins by saying that both Krishna and gopis surrender themselves to the Yogamaya. Yogamaya is energy of Krishna who conducts Krishna's pastimes. And as long as you are aware of Krishna's opulence, you cannot become friend with him. You cannot think of defeating him in a wrestling match. You cannot, as a lover, you cannot become angry with Krishna. As a parent, you cannot scold Krishna. You cannot try to discipline Krishna if you become aware and remember his opulence. So his pure devotees actually their knowledge about Krishna's opulence gets covered by Yogamaya. So in the Rasa dance, when Krishna disappears from the scene on the banks of Yamuna, uh, then the gopis along with Radharani, they start searching for Krishna everywhere. So Krishna himself manifests himself as Vishnu at standing at one place. Now Vishnu looks exactly like Krishna, but Vishnu is in four-arm form, and well, Krishna is Krishna. Krishna is in two-hand form. So all the gopis they see Vishnu and they pay obeisances to Vishnu. They think Vishnu is God, and so Vishnu, they can't play with Vishnu. They were not asking Vishnu to dance with them, but they wanted Krishna. They ask Vishnu, does he know where is Krishna? So they so so the unless your knowledge about Krishna's opulence is covered, you cannot have loving relationship with him. And Krishna is not interested in showing his opulence to his loved ones, just like a high court judge, a supreme court judge is not interested in showing how much powerful he is to his loved ones at home. When he enters the courtroom, the whole courtroom stands up, everyone stands and pay obeisances, pay respects to him, everyone refer to him as my lord, literally as like भगवान जैसा स्टेटस होता है उनका. But at when he comes back at home, he is not expecting, he's not interested also in everyone, all his children get up whenever he enters the home. He's not interested in showing his opulence at home. He wants to have loving exchanges with his wife, with his children, with his parents. He don't want them to stand up at his entrance. So similarly, Krishna is not interested in showing his opulence to his devotees, and he also does not feel very happy when they forget about his opulence and deal with him as they would otherwise deal with him in a friend, in a friendly, loving way. He's hungry for that love and affection. He's not interested in people paying obeisances with fear and respect and desires that that generally we go to God. So that is his position. their their position is explained further by Prabhupada in the purport that they are so immersed in pure love that they do not even know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forget that Krishna is Supreme Lord. The fact is that the devotee is not concerned with seeing Vishwarupa or universal form, but Arjuna wanted to see it to substantiate Krishna's statement so that in the future people could understand that Krishna not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as the Supreme Lord, but actually presented himself to such to Arjuna. Arjuna must confirm this because Arjuna is the beginning of the new parampara system. Krishna says in fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita that evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. In the course of time, this knowledge has been lost. And with you, I'm creating a new parampara. So, a new parampara, Arjuna wanted to make sure that everything is perfected. And, no loopholes kept for people to argue that Krishna was not God. So, Arjuna wants to ensure that, everyone can then accept Krishna as God, become his devotee, and go back to Krishna. Prabhupada writes further that those who are actually interested in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and who follow in the footstep of Arjuna should understand that Krishna is not only theoretically presented himself as Supreme, but actually revealed himself as the Supreme. So, if you know anybody who is claiming himself to be God, please ask them to reveal his universal form, or else just shut up. Verse 10, Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouth, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many, many celestial ornaments and bore many divine appraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine saints were smeared over his body. He was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding. if hundreds if hundreds and thousands of suns Um, if hundreds and thousands of suns were to rise at once into sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. Imagine एक सूरज उगता है तो कितना प्रकाश होता है. Krishna is saying, uh, in the universal form, the radiance, the tej जो दिख रहा था, that was like millions of sun rising simultaneously. So that's why Arjuna was given special vision, because with his with his material eyes, he could not have seen that kind of a vision. So at that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many and many thousands. The description of the universal form. Arjuna said, now Arjuna is describing what he's saying. My dear Lord, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all great sages and divine serpents. O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouth, eyes expanded everywhere without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning. No beginning, no end, and no middle. So your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence spreading on all sides like blazing fire and immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing from everywhere adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs. You are the supreme primeval object. You are the unlimited resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. Again, a wonderful description of spiritual universal form. You are without origin, middle, and end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O great one, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. All the host of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Host of great sages and perfected beings, crying, all peace, are praying to you for singing Vedic hymns. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, and and Shandyas, the two Avshis and the Marutas, the forefathers and the Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. Now the Krishna, if you remember, Krishna has told Arjuna that I will show you what you desire to see, what you have requested me to show. I will show you that, and I will also show you something extra that you have so far not requested, but you have innermost desire to see that. So आपने जो बोला है वो तो मैं पक्का दिखाऊंगा, बट जो आपने नहीं बोला है बट आपकी मंशा है, आपकी इच्छा है वो देखने की, वो भी मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा. एंड नाउ कृष्णा हैज show is now expanded himself to show the the Kala Rupa to Arjuna. Kala Rupa is time manifestation of Krishna. So let's see what those, and seeing that Arjuna actually becomes fearful. From Arjuna, Krishna was his friend, right? Beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is entering battlefield as a chariot driver, and Arjuna was supposed to kick him to turn left and turn right to indicate whether to turn left or turn right. So that was his position. Arjuna was at a higher position, Krishna was at a lower position, and Krishna happily accepted that service. And this is now condition of Arjuna, that Arjuna is becoming fearful seeing Krishna. Oh, mighty arm one. All the planets, Arjuna is continuing describing his new form. All the planets with their demigods are disturbed by seeing your great form with many faces, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. As they are disturbed, so am I. O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your grappling mouths and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind. O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the world, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance seeing thus your blazing, death like faces and awful teeth. In all directions, I am bewildered. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also are rushing into your fearful mouths. And some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. As the many waves of rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouth. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moth dash to destruction into blazing fire. Oh Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays. आख्यायिके मो आख्याहि आख्याहिमे को भवानुग्र रूपो. Arjuna is saying, O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. Akhya that please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what is your mission, what your mission is. Now the same Arjuna, entered as a master and Krishna as a servant. You see a complete role reversal. Now Arjuna is fearful of Krishna. Arjuna has never seen him like this. So he's even refusing to recognize Krishna properly. He's asking him, ये उग्र रूप में आप कौन हो? Who are you really? Please tell me who you are. And then he's paying obeisances after obeisances, and he's saying, I want to know more about you. Now, Krishna and Arjuna knew each other very well. They were friends. They spent so much time together. But seeing this form of Krishna, Arjuna got completely bewildered. And in saying that who you are, I don't know, I want to know more about you. And what is your mission? Tell me. Please tell me. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Kalosmi, Loka Kshaya Krita Pravruddho, Lokan Sama Hartuma Hi Pravrutta, Rutepi Tvam न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे ये व्यवस्थिता प्रयत्नि प्रत्यनि केशु योधाः. O Supreme Personality of God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Time I am, Kalosmi, Kala Asmi, Lokakshaya Kruta Pravruddho. I have come, Kalosmi, time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds. And I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain, will be killed. The Kal is an extremely powerful manifestation of Krishna himself. Now, with the time, the moment a baby is born, baby is becoming old. Going towards travel is journey towards death begins from the moment you are born. Every day, every minute, every hour, we are becoming older. We are becoming weaker. and we are going closer to our death. That Kal is irreversible. 1 second lost cannot even be, you cannot get it back, even if you want to pay millions and millions of dollars for the same. So that is the value of time. And that time, Krishna says, I am that time. Arjuna was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight, then there would be no frustration. In reply to the Lord, is saying, in reply, the Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed, for that was his plan. If Arjuna stopped fighting, they would die in some other way. Death could not be checked even if he did not fight, even if in fact they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of nature. तस्मात् तस्मात् तवम उत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रुं भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धम मयैवैते निहतः पूर्वमेव निमित्त मात्रं भव सव्यसाचीन. Therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Savyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. What does it mean? Just become an instrument. Nimitta matram. The word is very significant. The whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Lord. Foolish people, foolish persons who do not have sufficient knowledge think that the nature is moving without a plan, and all manifestations are but accidental formations. There is a specific plan being carried out in the material world. Question is, what is that plan? What is this plan? This plan, this cosmic manifestation is a chance for a, for the conditioned souls to go back to Godhead, back to home. This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned souls to go back to Godhead, back to home. As long as they have the domineering mentality, which makes them try to lord it over material nature, they are conditioned. As long as they have means, which means as long as we all have desire to enjoy material nature and we are acting in that consciousness, we are going to get reactions. We are going to get reactions and we will never be able to go back to Krishna. So, but anyone, Krishna Prabhupada writes, but anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord can cultivate Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. Anyone who can understand the plan of Lord and cultivate Krishna consciousness is the most intelligent. What is the plan of Lord? Plan of Lord is Yena Mam Upayantite, by which they can come to me. This is Krishna's plan. And for this to happen, they need to remember Krishna throughout their life and also at the end of life. And but they can't stop acting, so they have to act in Krishna consciousness. They have to work for Krishna, or at least offer all the fruits of their work to Krishna, so that their all their actions remain free from reactions. And they can, by performing bhakti, they can destroy their previous karma phala, and their current actions should will not produce new karma phala, and they can go back to Krishna. This way they can go back to Krishna. Prabhupada writes further that the creation and destruction of cosmic manifestations are under the superior guidance of God. Thus, the battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of God. Arjuna was refusing to fight, but he was told that he should fight in accordance with the desire of the Supreme Lord. Then he would be happy. If one is in full Krishna consciousness and his life is devoted to the Lord's transcendental service, he is perfect. Now, our plan versus Lord's plan. Bali Maharaj, example is Vaman Dev and Bali Maharaj. Vamandev appeared in the Bali Maharaj was performing sacrifice. He was Lord, he was king of all three planetary systems, and he was performing a yajna sacrifice and he was giving charity. And Vamandev, Lord appeared as Vamandev in that sabha and asked for three step of land. As Bali Maharaj was preparing to offer him that three step land, Shukracharya, his guru, came there. His guru came there and he warned Bali Maharaj that this boy is not ordinary boy. You don't give him anything. He is Vishnu himself appearing as a Brahmana, and he's going to cheat you. He's going to take away everything that you possess in one flash moment. So refuse. So even if you have not said that you will give, just say we will not give. And now Bali Maharaj is receiving this instruction from his guru. So on one side, he has Supreme Lord himself present before him, asking for something, asking for three-step land. And here is his guru who has given him all the knowledge, all the he's been instrumental in bringing him back to life, even when he was killed by Indra. So a guru is extremely important personality in our life, and one should be completely surrendered to our guru as long as that guru's instructions are in line with the shastra, are taking us towards Bhagavan Krishna. The moment whatever guru speaks takes us away from Krishna, even such guru need to be rejected. So uh, Bali Maharaj is thinking about the advice that he is getting from Shukracharya, that if this boy indeed is Vishnu, then who am I to stop him from taking whatever he wants to take? If Vishnu is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, if he desires to take anything from me, he will anyway take it. So what's the point in me saying no to him? So let me rather cooperate with him so that I can beg for mercy, I can get his mercy. So now that is the position of Supreme Lord when he demands, and that demands are making us uncomfortable. You earn the living, earn the you become the king of all three worlds, and this somebody, Lord, Supreme Lord, comes and asks for it, and you are supposed to give it. It could be painful, but you are supposed to still do it. Waking up early in the morning for japa can be painful, but we are still supposed to do that because that's the instruction of Krishna. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara. So we have to cultivate constant remembrance of Krishna throughout our life, throughout our day, and all the time. And that begins by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra early in the morning. If your sadhana is strong, solid, with commitment, then our cultivation of our remembrance of Krishna also remains stronger throughout the day. So Bali Maharaj say that I will give. Even if he's Vishnu, even if he wants to cheat me, I'm okay. I let me get cheated from Vishnu rather than getting cheated from somebody else. And he reject the advice of his guru and decides to offer three-step land to Vishnu, to Krishna. And Krishna accept that, becomes very happy, gets his actually gives his mercy to Bali Maharaj. The last section, arm form, the two arm form. Arjuna offers prayer to this Kala Rupa and beg forgiveness for all the offenses that he has committed. Arjuna asks Krishna to show his famous forearm form of with Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. Krishna happily shows that form and later manifests in his original two-arm form. Krishna says two-arm form is very rare even for devatas, but accessible only to his devotees. He elaborate further on this that bhaktya tava ananya shakya bhaktya tava ananya shakya aham evam vidhoruja. vidhorjunaha. So, gyatam drushtam cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. That bhaktya tava ananya shakya. That, oh my dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. त्यक्त्वा देहि पुनर्जन्म नैति मामिति सो अर्जुन जन्म कर्म चमे दिव्यम एवं यो वेत्ति तत्वतः. Knowing Krishna is not easy. Knowing Krishna is not easy, is mysterious, and one can know Krishna only when Krishna reveals himself to you. Krishna chooses to reveal seeing our devotion and our service attitude. And to show that, we need a guru. And to guru, or under the guidance of devotee, we need to sincerely, seriously practice devotional service of hearing, chanting, associating, and serving. If we do that, we attract Krishna's mercy. We get understanding of Krishna, by which we can cultivate constant remembrance of Krishna throughout our life, and hopefully at the end of life with Krishna's mercy. Prabhupada writes, Krishna can be understood only by the process of undivided devotional service. He explicitly explains this in this verse so that unauthorized commentators who try to understand Bhagavad Gita by speculative process will know that they are simply wasting their time. A lot of people try to comment on Bhagavad Gita. None of them are actually have received mercy from Krishna to be able to understand Bhagavad Gita properly. So the Krishna is property of his pure devotees, and the pure devotees are also property of Krishna. Otherwise, it is impossible to know Krishna by our own mental speculation. Krishna say, Prabhupada writes further that he explicitly explains this in this verse so that unauthorized commentators who are trying to understand Bhagavad Gita by speculative process will know that they are simply wasting their time. mat karma karan मत परमो मद भक्त संग विवर्जिता निर्वैर समभूते सर्वभूतेषु यह स माम एति पांडव. My dear Arjuna, who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of creative activities and mental speculation, creative activities and mental speculation, both. One has to be free from that. He who work for me, one should be performing seva to Krishna, service to Krishna or his devotees, who makes me the supreme goal of his life. We should make ourselves Krishna the supreme goal of our life, and who is friendly to every living entity, every living being. He certainly comes to me. Very important verse. Anyone who wants to approach the supreme of all personality of God, supreme of all the personalities of Godhead on the Krishna Loka planet in the spiritual sky, uh, and be intimately connected with the Supreme Personality of Krishna. Supreme Personality Krishna must take this formula as stated by the Supreme Himself. Therefore, this verse is considered to be the essence of Bhagavad Gita. This verse is considered to be the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Now, here is the verse which clearly explains the process by which one can attain success in this spiritual activity, devotional service. So, this is what we are supposed to do. This is what we are supposed to do uh, to become devotee of Lord Krishna. To become devotee of Lord Krishna, um, perform devotional service with all our sincerity. Devotional service means hearing Krishna Katha, reading scriptures, reading Bhagavad Gita on a regular basis with dedicated time, and chanting. Chanting is Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting in isolation alone with Japamala, or chanting along with the devotees in association of devotees. So hearing, chanting, and association of devotees, asking question to devotees, revealing our heart to devotees, sharing our problems with the devotees, seeking solutions and implementing those solutions which we get from the devotees. And so this is how uh, hearing, chanting, associating, and serving, making some practical services to the devotees. Um, by when we follow these four things, we could attract mercy from Krishna, who gives us additional intelligence to understand him in Tattva. And as we understand Krishna in Tattva, our attraction for Krishna increases and our bhakti increases towards Krishna. Our bhakti increases, we repeat this same process of hearing, chanting, associating, and serving Krishna more and more. We get addicted to this process, we get addicted to Krishna. And by doing so, we cultivate constant remembrance of Krishna during our life. And with Krishna's grace, we can constantly remember Krishna at the end of our life. And following this process, we can attain Krishna. We can go back to Krishna, and we can break through the cycle of repeated birth and death. Otherwise, there is no hope. There is no plan B. There is no alternative available to stop the next birth. Only this way we can stop from taking next birth. So we should make best use of the facility for hearing and chanting and associating. I have my phone number with, hopefully all of you have saved my phone number in your phone, and make best use of it. Call me, call all the admins, ask them questions, ask them how you can become a better devotee, and accordingly progress towards Krishna consciousness. How, what you can do for Krishna, you should think like that, and we should actually practically do things like that. And when we serve Krishna, we perform our daily sadhana, we actually attract attention of Krishna, and then personally Krishna endeavors for our progress in the bhakti yoga. So facility for hearing and chanting. Chanting happens in the morning from 4:45 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. and hearing happens from 8:30 p.m. every day till 9:15 p.m. every day on the Zoom link that gets circulated on all the sessions, on all the WhatsApp groups. If you're not getting that Zoom link for daily japa and daily reading session, please message me or message anybody from the or anyone who is admin in our group. They should be able to provide you with that link. So let's break for question answer if there are any, and otherwise we can conclude today's session. Yes, Vaishnavi, you can unmute and ask the.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dharma Pranam. Prabhuji, one of the slides mentioned that pure devotee is attracted to Krishna's two-handed form. So why it is that only in a Krishna form? Uh, like my question is, a devotee can be attracted in a form as Vishnu or his other form. So how do we clarify that?
So, thanks, Vaishnavi, for a very nice question. So, Prabhupada writes in the Prabhupada, that devotee is not interested in saying Vishwarupa form of Lord because it's a degradation. It's not an upgradation of vision, it's a degraded vision. Now, the relationship between two people, the intimacy of the relationship depends on our our exchange, loving exchanges that we perform with that person. With a Vishwarupa form, when you're fearful seeing that Vishwarupa form, uh, there is no way you can reciprocate with that form. There is no way you can reciprocate with that form. And hence, those forms are considered to be lower forms. Vishwarupa form is in fact considered to be a temporary form. There's no, it's not a permanent form. So it is get manifested when Krishna when Krishna creates the universes, then he assumes that Vishwarupa form. So it's not even a proper form. Now, same logic is gets extended to other forms of Lord. In Vishnu Rupa, in Vaikuntha, where Krishna is not as reciprocal as he is in Vrindavana. Therefore, where our loving exchanges, all kind of loving exchanges are seen in Vrindavan, but Vaikuntha planet only contains Aishwarya Bhav. You just go and pay obeisances to Lord, and that's it. You cannot have loving exchanges with Lord, which means that you're. But we all have those emotions in us. We want to play with Lord. We want if we are in a Vatsalya rasa, we should be able to scold the Lord. If how can there be a Vatsalya ras when there is no when the parents of child are paying obeisances to this tiny child? That there is no Vatsalya in that. So there is no fulfilling Vatsalya bhav that cannot get fulfilled. The desires of becoming parent of Lord doesn't get fulfilled unless they act like parents. And they can only act like parent when Krishna behaves like their son. Krishna behaves as if he is dependent on his parent for food. The whole Krishna is feeding the whole universe. But Krishna in Vrindavan is dependent on his mother to feed him. Otherwise, he becomes hungry and he becomes angry and he start breaking pots in that angry mood. So now that Krishna is the Krishna, unless Krishna becomes hungry, how will a mother feel satisfied with by feeding him? Unless a child becomes scared, how his father can hold that child to his chest and assure him that everything is fine? If Krishna appears as Vishwarupa, you are scared of him. Instead of he becoming scared, you are scared of him. So obviously there is no reciprocation. So therefore, where are the wherever the reciprocation, the possibility of reciprocation is highest, that form is considered to be the higher form. And that is highest in Vrindavan Dham. Therefore, two-arm form of Krishna is considered to be the best, is actually the original form, and we can everyone can reciprocate with Krishna to the fullest in that form. A cow can reciprocate, a deer can reciprocate, a monkey can reciprocate, the birds can reciprocate, and cowherd friends can reciprocate, his parents can reciprocate, elderly gopis can reciprocate, young gopis, Radharani can reciprocate, his parents can reciprocate. So co- trees can reciprocate, flowers can reciprocate, kalpavruksha trees can fruits can reciprocate, Yamuna river can reciprocate, lakes can reciprocate, Manasi Ganga can reciprocate, Radha Kunda can reciprocate, Sham Kunda can reciprocate. So beautiful. So that's why this because wherever the reciprocation is highest, that form is the best. And that's why Krishna in his two-arm form is the supreme personality of Godhead, because without any restriction you can reciprocate with him.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. I had one more question. You mentioned that Krishna is behind love, but at the initial stages, we have to uh, have have a very respectful and honorable mood for Lord. So how I did not understood how to link with that. Like there is one verse that we have to do bhajan Priti Purvakam. So how these things are linked, and even in the mood of respect and honor, how we can have that feeling of love for him.
Yeah. So the Krishna is hungry for love. Krishna want us in his abode more than we want to go there. So so Krishna is, but how should we then approach Krishna? Because of our impure nature, initially our approach to Krishna is that of a sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti is driven more by rules and regulation. Chant 16 rounds every day. Now, where is love in this? This is the instruction, and that instruction is an obligation. I have to get up, I have to spare 2 hours, 2.5 hours, so that I can take out enough time to complete all my rounds, and it's a burden. So where is love in that? So initially it can be like this, but it doesn't remain. We don't have to remain like this forever. As we chant Krishna's name and as our heart gets purified, our attraction to Krishna increases through hearing and serving and chanting. Eventually the same chanting becomes a joyful activity. Same chanting, you don't have to be then forced to chant 16 rounds, because you're completing your 16 rounds and then you're completing your 18th round and 20th round. Wherever you get time, you do japa, and that way you just get addicted to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You just get addicted to hearing Krishna Katha. You just get addicted to Krishna. Now that is a stage where you are progress from. Then you don't have to be reminded about 16 rounds. Then you have to be told that now stop chanting and start doing something else. That stage can come in our life as well. So it's a it's a matter of purification when the rules regulation turns into love, and then it's impossible to forget Krishna. And it is not very difficult to attain that stage as well. In our life, with following the process given by Prabhupada also, we can attain that stage where the rules regulations of today becomes loving, uh, loving subject matter tomorrow. So it's a process of, the purification will help us as our heart become pure. The we can develop taste for hearing. As we develop taste for hearing, and when we read, we get better and better realizations, and that increases our affection for Krishna in our heart, and that's how the love eventually manifests. So it's a process, but it's a assured process, and we are all moving in that process, moving towards that process. Okay, so love overnight will not come. Today we may think it is love, but we may not know, because we may love 100 other things. But later we will become exclusive lovers of Krishna. There, all other attractions can will not also deviate us from our japa. No matter how sick people, we've heard stories of how Kadam Kandan Maharaj was chanting his rounds till last day. Even though his spiritual master told him not to do so, he said, please don't take away this seva from me. This is the only thing I'm able to do right now. He was suffering from cancer in his last few days. He was barely able to utter a word. Forget what to speak of chanting the entire Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But in that condition also, he was constantly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and went back to Godhead. I mean, such a glorious death that he experienced, our Guru Maharaj experience. We are all fortunate to be able to see how they lived by the principles of Bhagavad Gita, and how they left this world by the following the same principles of Bhagavad Gita, and how they went back to Godhead. So it's possible. It's possible because now we have living examples in front of our eyes. It's not that Prahlad Maharaj did it in Satya Yuga. We're not talking about that. We are talking about the real people doing this. They become real lovers of Krishna, and that's how we know that it's possible for us also to do it. So that is our hope, and with that hope, we should practice sadhana bhakti every day. That someday, our rules and regulation will not become a burden for me. It will become a joyful experience. I will look forward to waking up early in the morning and take out my bead bag and start japa. I will look forward to open Bhagavatam and open my favorite chapter, and again, uh, you know, s- get lost in thinking about Krishna, reading Krishna's pastime. So that stage will come in our life if we are sincere, if we are dedicated, and if we are serving devotees with their mercy, that the Krishna will give us that stage very soon in our lives as well. So that's how the love comes in. Bhajatam priti purvakam. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your wonderful questions. Khushi has a question. In what ways does this chapter emphasize the importance of life and the role of Krishna as the eternal overseer of all events? So that will come in the chapter 13. But Krishna as the eternal overseer, Sakshi, Prabhu, and Upadrashta Anumantacha, Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara, all that will come in the 13th chapter, 23rd verse. So there it is, that will be prominently talked about. And okay, impermanence, life, and role of Krishna as an eternal overseer in all events. Yes. So I don't see any other questions. Okay, so let's conclude today's session and encourage all of you, request all of you to please join daily japa session and reading sessions in the evening, and talk to devotees. Talk to devotees, ask them questions, share with them what you are doing today. Share with them every day. You should share with them every day what you have done the japa, you have read some book, you have had something good, bad, ugly experience. You should be sharing with devotees everything. You should have a devotee contact in your life, in your phone book, whom you should know that you should be able to call anytime that you need help. And daily you should share your update of your sadhana as well as daily difficulties that you are facing, the attraction, the temptations, the deviations that you are facing. All of those should be shared with the devotees and seek devotee guidance in everything. And that way, we can become more Krishna conscious every day. So with that, let us conclude today's session. Uh, and we'll continue with another beautiful chapter of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, on next Sunday, and hope all of you can join and participate in that. So let's conclude today's session by chanting Srila by chanting Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna everyone. Hare Krishna everyone. Yeah.
Hare, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.